So welcome folks to our extra special live stream, not live stream, bonus introduction video. Well said. We are joined today for a fun and casual wrap up by extra special guest, Laura E. Dickey, who is our digital media fellow and has worked with us for the last 2 years. As well as obviously Thomas Goodwin, the series director, who's been on one of our live streams before. So consequently, Tom, we're going to skip your introduction because everybody's already heard it. And Laura, tell us about yourself.
I'm Laura. I did a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, a lot of help with writing and everything. I'm the person that hides behind the camera, essentially.
Laura, tell us about yourself. What do you do?
Myself?
Where are you from? Everybody should know Laura's least favorite subject is talking about herself, so.
Yes, hello, I'm Laura. I don't want to talk about myself, but here I am. I actually really don't know how to talk about myself, but I went to
coast area.
I'm from Searsport, but I live in Rockland. Lived in Sprucehead for a while. I got into the museum through my stepdad, actually, but I came into it with an art degree, actually. And when I graduated college, I was kind of in between jobs and met Sophie at a job fair, and got into the museum that way. And I started off actually in a marketing internship, and on my resume I had put my art background, my experience with digital media production and all that. And so Sophie noticed that and brought Tom into the interview too. Just because like internships are kind of about, using the skills that you have to improve. And they kind of used that to expand my internship into something that covered digital media production as well as some marketing stuff.
Yeah, that was a really terrible mistake on my part. Yeah, I think I saw you maybe for an hour the rest of that summer.
No, we were right next to each other in the same office.
I know, the allure of Hollywood, it's way more flashy.
Yeah, so we did a bunch of digital media stuff and marketing stuff and, filming events and things like that. And then the next year I came back for a digital media fellowship where I focused 100% on media production and did a lot of a lot of new stuff. And, partway into it, started helping Tom write the series, which at the time we called the Model T series. Yeah.
So Laura, you did a lot of, as you've said, a lot of behind the scenes work, which includes, help writing scripts and, a lot of the, equipment stuff and filming. But you also did something else for the series, which is one of my favorite parts.
I know.
Well, I've always been drawn to animation. So Laura,
that was sick and fun.
Talk about that a little bit. Had you done animation before? Had you done it to this degree?
Yeah.
Did you want to yell at me when I asked you if you could do one for the series?
I love animation and of it. And my first initial internship for marketing, I did like a little thing. In college, I kind of focused on animation. That's like one of my specific fields of interest. And I was actually really happy when you guys asked me to make one for the series because I knew it was going to be fun and challenging because it involved a vehicle, just like a full shot of a vehicle and 2 walk cycles. So I give myself the opportunity to learn a new program to do that, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, and in case anyone is interested in some behind the scenes fun of that, this was my favorite part of looking at this. So we started here, and this is the part I got really concerned about because I knew what we'd asked for and I was really excited about it. And Laura, I've always had so much faith in your artistic ability because I can't do stick figures at all. They always end up looking like weird vegetables. And so I had faith. I was worried it was going in a super grumpy owl direction, just because that is truly the angriest, most brutal owl that anyone has ever seen.
Well, that's Tom as an owl, so.
Oh my goodness, I never
I mean,
made
if
that
you're going to
connection.
channel something to make it grumpy, Tom would be the thing. And then, of course, you know, it started to come together, which was really exciting. We got the little Monopoly Man there. This truly was my favorite, though, because, you know, I've worked with Tom for 3 years now, and I don't think anything has ever really captured his essence.
Yeah, that
in such a
that's
succinct
me.
way, especially like your eyebrows there. It's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
So for anybody who hasn't seen Laura's full animation, I think it might be a good idea to share that.
Yeah, I think the secondary motion on the vehicle is my favorite part.
Right?
It's the most fun because it's like just lots of tiny little decisions and you just gotta tweak it until it works.
I love that. Well, but like I said, if we back it up and you look like, Laura, how did you get that to work? Like,
what?
There's a shine on the vehicle. Like, I can't even get that to come out with my cell phone camera.
Well, I mean, I just put it there.
Yeah, it's cool because it acts like a lighting trick that makes the Model T look three-dimensional. That's awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
And these flips in the steering wheel, I mean, and the little buckles, it's stupid good.
Well, like one of the things about good design is when you have like a very strong silhouette. So like you can still tell what it is, even if there's no color or any detail on it. If it's just a shadow, you can still tell what it is. That means that it's working. So I kind of focused on getting like a strong silhouette of a Model T and then put the details on top of it. And I mean, that was my first time really like drawing a vehicle. So I learned a lot doing that. It took a lot of finagling before I got it to look the way I wanted. You know, I was also playing around with what style I wanted when I was making it. So.
Which is incredibly impressive. Our crowd, as soon as something's historically inaccurate.
I knew that going into it as well. So I really wanted to make sure it was spot on. I used the Model T that Tom drives actually as reference for it, just to make sure.
Yeah, that was and it's the one that appears the most commonly, the 1915 Model T touring car.
That's so exciting. All right, so Laura, so you also did equipment setup, right?
Yes.
So for anybody who doesn't know, you know, how big our space is, we have what, Tom, 80,000 square feet?
Yeah, I think just over that.
So, and you guys crawled pretty much everywhere around this place.
Literally crawled in some cases.
Literally in some instances.
On things, under things, you know.
Yeah.
But then we had some pretty standard sets. So here's one behind the scenes photo.
Yep.
Where obviously we have Tom and Rob playing the characters of Tom and Rob. This is our boardroom. And I'm always so impressed because you keep the spaces that we have looking like our spaces, but nicer, you know, in a way that is, you know, that's either super comfortable or uncomfortable, depending on, you know, what the scene's supposed to do. Laura, is it hard learning how to light different spaces in the museum, especially where typically they're meant to be lit for the exhibits, not necessarily for filming?
Yeah, a lot of the lighting was kind of tricky, and we had like different types of light in the same room, which can be kind of difficult when you're working in post-production. So that was like a new experience, was, you know, putting up the lights, watching Tom flag them, which is basically we use tinfoil to control how much light actually entered the scene. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of learning, and yeah, I think it came out pretty good.
So
Yeah.
Laura, so you did do a lot of learning while you were here on set. We didn't get you in front of the camera, sadly.
Intentionally.
But talk about being on set. What was it like being on set? Was it
Um,
comfortable? Was everyone always happy?
I mean, we had some moments where, you know, there were some challenges here and there, but for the most part, it was a lot of fun.
You guys had daylight, literally, that was burning. And of course, I snuck into your folders a little bit.
Oh my goodness.
And it didn't always look pretty. I'm not going to lie to you.
Nope.
Some days looked a little rough.
Mhm.
So how is that? How do you mitigate creative differences?
Well,
You gave
I
me
think-
access to the folder, so.
yeah, that's a dangerous thing to do.
Yeah, your first mistake.
Well, that photo in particular was actually to kind of keep track of the outfits for different episodes, so we could, you know, have a hand on continuity. But as far as I think creative differences, I think you were asking about, I think we kind of went into it, at least I went into this with kind of a supportive role for Tom. So Tom was kind of like the creative lead, I guess. And I was sort of, my role was to, you know, help support his creative vision. And, you know, add my 2 cents here and there. We, like, a lot of the jokes we wrote together, a lot of the script, I don't really remember who wrote what, because we kind of would go back and forth. So I would write one thing and then he would alter it, and then I would alter it again. I mean, eventually we got sort of a shorthand down where, you know, we worked pretty well as a team, I think, and worked really hard to make sure we were communicating our creative differences, to make sure that, you know, everything was running smoothly. I think it, yeah.
Yeah, if I can jump in.
Yeah.
One thing that I think both Laura and I knew going into it is, you know, the great thing about writing the scripts and getting prepared to do the shoot is because is where both her and I are the most comfortable, because we have complete control over it. We can work on these things in a comfortable environment. So the more prep we were able to do in the beginning, like when we wrote the scripts and created the characters, we were preparing for the fact that when we started filming, we just had to do it. When we got to the sets, it wasn't just us sitting in our offices and making our own schedules. We were working with talent, we were taking up space, and we were basically taking up space and making sure everything around us was quiet. So the impact that we were placing on the museum as a film set meant that we just had to stick with what we'd already done. We already did the work beforehand, so it was just a matter of making everything click into place. And Laura, when you say shorthand, it's that thing where for 8 hours a day for 6 weeks, we were setting up, breaking down, filming, and working on, even though it's 9 episodes, one single project. And so partway through it, going in and doing that, I mean, you know, when you start up, it's a little, the gears are a little rusty, but as soon as we started filming on a day-to-day basis, all of a sudden we could just rattle off scenes pretty damn quick.
Very nice. Well, and I think it's also nice, Laura, because we do have an internship program here, but you kind of pioneered the digital media space. Again, doing things that had not been done before, kind of going above and beyond in a lot of ways, pioneering your own territory. What were you doing here? Were you shadow puppeting the popcorn dude, or what were you doing?
No, that's about where I think Tom's head would be in the shot.
No,
So
okay.
he was trying to frame up shots, but he can't like frame up a shot and be in the shot at the same time. So I was kind of like mimicking his height about, I think.
So this
Yep.
is Tom's head.
Yep, that's exactly what was happening.
Yeah.
Interesting. So Laura, we are getting close to the end of our time, but just out of curiosity, what would you say to anybody who either is pursuing an internship with the museum, or, you know, or in digital media? You know, what advice would you give to them? Because it's obviously a field that's moving really quickly, but really exciting.
I think my advice would be don't hold back because you think that you're not qualified for something. Like, you know, put what you're proud of on your resume and be proud of the experience you have and know that you can use that to learn more. And, you know, apply for things and be willing to, you know, it's going to sound cliche, but like be willing to try new things within like that framework. If I hadn't done that, then I probably wouldn't have stayed with the museum for so long, you know.
Laura
Because
came
like
with 2 resumes.
I actually did, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like the whole point of internships is to learn new things and explore what you like and, you know, to improve your skills. And every bit of improvement is useful. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. And we have loved having you here. And we're excited to find another project where you can come in and bring your creative tone to the room and, you know, and also help Tom's creative vision wherever it seems to meander through the displays. So thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
It's good to see you.